Hello everyone, welcoming you all after a long time. In this video, we are going to study about the force, effects of force, and types of force. So let's begin. I think we all know that what actually the force is. Force is something or simply the push or pull of any object. अब ये push और pull क्या है? Push in that case जब आप अपने आप से object को दूर करना चाहते हैं, when you are trying to move the object away from yourself, in that case you push the object. और जब आप ऑब्जेक्ट को अपने पास लाना चाहते हैं और when you are trying to move that object towards yourself or closer to yourself, then in that case we use the term pull. Now before moving further, one thing important that you all must know is that for the force to come into play or act, it is very important that there must be an interaction between two or more objects. So for the force to come into act, it is very important that there must be the presence of two or more objects. First object which is applying the force and the second object on which the force is being applied. Standard unit of force is Newton, represented by N. If we explore more about the force, then we will also come to know that when the force is applied from the same direction by two or more objects, then this results in the addition of the force applied by the object on a particular object or box. Okay, let's take an example. If two persons are applying the force on a heavy box, okay, and the force applied by the first person is 5 Newton and the another person is also 5 Newton. Then in that case, the forces applied by these two people in the same direction on that almirah will be added. So 5 Newton plus 5 Newton is equal to 10 Newton. So the total force of 10 Newton is applied on that object. And one more thing. If the force is applied from the same direction, then it will result in the movement of the object. Okay. Now another case is that when the force is applied from the opposite direction, then it results in the subtraction of the forces. It has two cases. The first case is that the forces applied from both the direction or the opposite direction is equal. Take an example that if the person is applying the force of 5 Newton towards the east and the person 2 or B is applying the force of 5 Newton 2 towards the west direction, then in that case what will happen? 5 minus 5 Newton result in 0. Then the object will remain in its original position. It will not result in any movement. Now another case is that when the forces applied from both the sides are unequal. Just imagine that if person A is applying force of 6 Newton towards the east on any object and the person B is applying the force of 8 Newton towards the west upon any object. Then 8 Newton is more, so we will subtract 6 Newton from 8 Newton. So this will result that 2 Newton of force applied by the person B is more than the force applied by the person A. So in that case, the object will move towards the west direction. Moving to the next topic, which is effects of force. The first effect of force is that it brings motion in any object that is in rest position. In other words, it causes movement in the stationary object. Take an example of footballer. When the footballer kicks a football which was in rest position, then after the kick, it causes movement in the ball. And you will also notice that the goalkeeper tries to stop the ball, and when the goalkeeper catches the ball, then the ball which was in motion comes to its rest position, and this is what the second effect of force is. It can bring the object in rest which was in motion. Okay. Now another effect of force is that force results in the change in the shape or the size of the object due to the interaction. Take an example of kneading the dough. There is a continuous change in the shape of the dough when you are kneading it. Or when you are converting that dough or rolling it into a roti or chapati, then what happened? The shape of the dough changes into a circle. Moving further, the another topic to understand is types of forces. There are two types of forces, contact force and non-contact force. नाम से ही समझ आ रहा है. Contact force are the force that require to be in contact or non-contact, जिनमें contact में रहने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. They can work without being in contact or without being in touch. Definition of contact force. Now, contact force are the force that arise with the physical interaction or touch with two or more objects involved. Now, this contact force is also of two types. First is the muscular force and another is the frictional force. Now, muscular force, a type of contact force applied by the actions of muscles in the body, is known as muscular force. We all must have studied about the muscles in our hands, in our body, etc. And in our hands, two types of muscles are present, biceps and triceps. So, जो force in muscles के movement से arise होता है, उसे हम muscular force कहते हैं. Take an example, weight lifting. Another, cycling. So all these types of force occur due to the muscular movement, due to the movement of muscles. Another very important type of contact force is frictional force. Friction के बिना life is not possible. When you are driving the car, when you are riding your cycle, when you are kicking the ball, then all these things require friction because the wheels of the car are in contact with the road. Your ball is in contact with the ground or is in contact with your leg. ठीक है. So friction is also a type of opposing force. अब it acts on the all moving object by the surface with which it is in contact. Now it happens on irregular surface. Irregular surface in a sense कि जहाँ पर वो उनकी level equal नहीं होती. एक चीज इंपॉर्टेंट है कि किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट का फ्रिक्शन कभी भी जीरो नहीं हो सकता, नो मैटर हाउ स्मूथ द ऑब्जेक्ट इज. हर ऑब्जेक्ट में कुछ ना कुछ इरेगुलरिटीज होगी और ग्राउंड और सरफेस में तो इरेगुलरिटीज होती ही है. तो जब बोथ द इरेगुलरिटीज ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट एंड ऑफ द सरफेस कम इन कॉन्टैक्ट एंड दे इंटरलॉक विथ ईच अदर, then the friction is being created and the object stops moving. Now moving further, the another type of force is non-contact force. अब non-contact force में दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट या जितने भी ऑब्जेक्ट्स इन्वॉल्व होंगे उनको कॉन्टैक्ट में होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. ठीक है. एंड देयर आर थ्री टाइप्स ऑफ non-contact force: gravitational force, magnetic force and electrostatic force. So talking about the first force, that is gravitational force, which is also one of the most important type of non-contact force. अब take an example of sun. Sun have gravity, ठीक है, and it makes sure that all the planets are revolving around it. कोई इससे दूर ना जाए. And how does the sun do it? Is the sun in contact with the planet? Not really. Sun is far away from the planet, but still it is exerting its gravitational force on the planet, and planet do not go away from the sun. They are near it. This is how the gravitational force works. Now, gravitational force is a type of pull force or the force of attraction between the two objects. Now, the force of gravity is exerted by the earth on us. Earth is applying gravity on its surface. So, that's how we all are in contact with the earth's surface, else we would be flying. जब भी आप कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट को थ्रो करते हो ऊपर से तो वो नीचे आकर ही गिरती है. Whenever you open the tap, the water falls towards downward. Why it is so? It is so because of the gravitational force or the gravity which is exerted by the earth's surface. Moving further, the another type of non-contact force is magnetic force. To understand this magnetic force, keep a magnet on table. We all must know what actually the magnet is. Now, after keeping the magnet, take a magnetic material just like an iron nail and place it little bit far away from the magnet on that same surface or table. Now start moving the magnet closer towards that iron nail. After some time, you will see that iron nail got attracted towards the magnet, though they were not in contact. How was this possible? This was possible due to the magnetic force exerted by the magnet, which attracts the iron nail towards itself, though they were not in contact. And this is what the magnetic force is. Now, we all must have studied about the poles of the magnet. Like poles repel and unlike poles attract. Now, this force of repulsion and attraction is also a type of magnetic force, and for this the magnet do not need to be in contact. Moving to the last topic of this video, that is the third type of non-contact force, electrostatic force. Electrostatic, the word electrostatic is made up of the combination of two words. First is the electro and another one is the static. Electro means the electrons and the static means to be in stationary or in rest position. Now, this electrostatic force is a type of non-contact force that is produced by a charged body on another uncharged or charged body. The lightning which is occurring on the Earth's surface during thunderstorm is also an example of electrostatic force. Let's perform an activity. Take a balloon and rub it with the cloth. Now this balloon gets charged. Now place this balloon or charged balloon near any uncharged balloon. You will notice that the charged balloon attracts the uncharged balloon. This was possible because of the electrostatic force. Now take that uncharged balloon and rub it with the cloth again. Make that uncharged balloon charged. Now place that both charged and charged balloon close to each other. What will you notice? The balloons push each other. They go far away from each other. How was this possible? This was also possible because of the electrostatic force. Because when both the charged balloon were kept near each other, then the force of repulsion was produced. There are many activities which are related to electrostatic force and you can perform them at your home. This was all about today. Thanks for watching.